Hello students, welcome back to ADP classes. Moving on to the next topic, the call stack. So imagine that you have a mending conversation with someone. So you talk about your friend, say Alice, which then reminds you of a story about your co-worker Bob, say. But first you have to explain something about your cousin Carol. See, these are the relationships you can find. So you are talking to allies, then you got to know something about you reminded your co-worker Bob, then cousin Carol and all, right? You finish your story about Carol and go back to talking about Bob. When you finish your story about Bob, you go back to talk about the first person, that is allies, right? So this is how you wanted. You assume you are meeting a friend and you started your conversation with your friend and you started talking about your another friend, say allies. Then in between the conversation, you start talking about your another friend, say Bob, and your cousin Carol. So once you finish talking about Carol, you will come back to Bob, then you will come back to uh, the same first person, that is about allies, right? So this is how the relationship about stack, last in first out scenario, isn't it? So first you start talking about allies, then after that Bob, then followed by Carol. You finish talking about Carol, Bob, next you will come back to Bob, allies, and so on. Then you start talking about David, you finish talking about David, you again you talk about allies, and so on. This is what the scenario, normal scenario, isn't it? So here is a programming example. So we are defining a function a which has got a print statement. A starts followed by there is a call for the calling statement for function b as well as function d, followed by print a returns. Then a definition of b, you can see b starts, and inside b you are making a call for function c where b returns. And definition of c, so c starts and c returns, right? Definition of d, so print d starts, so d starts followed by d returns. For again at fifth step you are making a call for a. So this is what the program, this is the output of the program. See, a b c starts followed by c returns, b returns, then d returns, sorry, d starts, d returns, and a returns. So let us see how it is. Um, you just go through the, please pause the video carefully, you note down the program, okay, and observe the path of control. Okay, when a is called at step number 5, when a is called at step number 5, that is last, it calls b of step number 1. So a is called there, right? So rest of the things are definition of the function. So function call is there at step number 5. First function which is called by the program is a. So function a, you have to look into the body of a. What happens? A starts will be printed, followed by it will call b, isn't it? So it will call b. So once it calls b, what will happen? Check the definition of b. B starts, right? Once it calls b, it prints b starts, and it makes a call for another function c. So now you have to look into the location c, definition of c. What is definition of c? C starts, right? C starts will be displayed, followed by next statement is what? One more printf statement, print statement, that is c returns. So you could see the output, you could see the things on the output. First a starts, followed by b starts, then c is called, we did not executed the b returns yet, so c starts will be printed, followed by next step c returns, right? C returns. Okay, now where are you? You are inside, definition of b. So you have to look into the next statement of b. One more statement is there, right? Once c returns, you have to control will be returned back to its calling function. Its calling function, who is its calling function? B is its caller, right? Calling function. So control will be returned back to b. Remaining statement from b is print statement b returns. So b returns, once returns uh, last statement of definition of b executed, it will control will change its path to the calling function. Who is the caller for b? For b, who is the caller? A is the caller. So you will come back to step number 1 since step number 1 execution is completed. So you have to move to the next statement on A. So what is the next statement? You are making a call for function D, right? You are making a call for function D. So check the definition of D. What will happen? Check. D starts will be printed followed by D returns. That's it. So control will be returned back to the calling function. Control return back to calling function means calling function is A. Remaining statement from A is the print statement will be executed. Print A returns. That's it. Right? Please write down the program. Okay. Pause the video. Watch it again. If you have any doubt, please ask. So this is what the output of the program and explanation is given here. Okay. This is what exactly happens in the stack. So A is called first, followed by B, then C. So execution of C is completed. Execution of B will be completed. Execution of A will right. Execution of A you are seeing. So next statement from A will be calling of D. D execution will be completed. Finally, execution of module A will be completed. Right? The frame objects of call stack, right? abcd call stack.py they are calling it as, let it be. So this is the content of stack once the call and return executions are completed. Right? Let's continue our discussion in the next session. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.